credit to a channel called Sunrise Productions for saving me the whole day on this. So I have some clips, guys. I brought some. Did you add the music? I did not. That is Sunrise Productions.
Yeah, but I can already tell.
That music fits perfectly.
It does.
I don't mind though.
Such a brave statement! Such a brave stance you took, eh? Oh, you're so fucking brave! Fuck you! What a brave stance you took! Fucking County, Virginia, after 8 long months in that fucking cell! Do you ever think any of you fucking cocksuckers can ever say a goddamn fucking word to me?
First off, he's 5'8", all right? I've met him in person. He's 5'8", 5'9", all right, Garth? Let's get that out of the way.
He is,
but it's like
matter.
A joke. It's like
he could be 8 foot tall. Yeah, he could be.
I might actually do it though. I think it'd be like fun to do Ralph lore content. We were watching your on my stream yesterday. Your response to the accusation that you in 1993 killed dogs. Or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, and I told this story before, and I could tell it again, but there was this fat Yankee who was a part of our class at St. Michael's Catholic School. I went to Catholic school from kindergarten through the 6th grade. And he was a faggot, and not just a faggot because he was a Yankee. We have a few Yankees that we like here and there. But he stuck out like a sore thumb. He was actually an anime faggot when I was a kid. No offense, Alberto. And a huge JRPG guy. I mean, I'm talking about in the late 90s, which literally would mark you out as like one of the biggest nerds of all time. You know what I mean? Like it's you think about it being nerdy now, it's like a million times more nerdy in 1996. You know what I mean? Like it's unbelievable. That was almost 30 years ago. It was a lot more nerdy back then. And so he came to school. I was in class. And they came in and told him that his dog had died. And I hated this.
Why would they do that?
Well, yeah, that's another thing. They should have just taken.
Wait until he got home.
Right. Hold on. I'll finish the story.
Aiden Chartsdale sent $3. I heard Ralph say fat Yankee. Was he looking for the chat?
So he came in. I explained this story already. So he came into class, and I'd already been at school all day, and this was probably 10, 30, 11, something like that. During the middle of the day, basically. They came in and told him his dog had died. Now, I knew him because I lived about a block and a half away from him. And I'd been over to his house, try to be cool with him, but he was a weirdo faggot. And one of the things he would always do is carry his dog around. And it was like a fucking wiener dog. And he would always carry his dog around. And the dog clearly didn't like it, by the way. He was like, let me go. You know what I mean? He was one of those types. Now, the dog may have loved him outside of that. I don't know. But he was, really possessive and controlling of his dog. And so I already knew he was, obsessed with this dog. And so they came into class, and they told him his dog had died. And I didn't realize that at first. But I don't know if it was... I was cool with the teachers because I was a little smart-ass kid, even though I was the class clown. Frequently, the teachers... even though they weren't supposed to do this, because I would talk to them like they were adults. And so I could... find out what was going on, basically. And so a teacher had told me, he came back into class and he was crying. And I was like, what's going on? And I guess the teacher had whispered to me or somebody else that his dog had died. And he'd hung himself, basically, on a chair. And
how does that happen?
Well, because they had him tied to the chair, basically.
Why did they have the dog tied to
Well,
the chair?
that's what I don't understand. But I'd seen him do this, by the way.
That's terrible.
Well, you don't. This is why you don't tie your dog to things like this. So he was tied to the chair, and I guess he had gotten wrapped up. I don't know if he did a swan dive off the chair or if he just got wrapped up. You know what I mean? At the bottom.
A Jeffrey Epstein double back.
Right. No, it was literally some Robin Williams shit. I don't know if it was he jumped off the chair or if he just got caught around the bottom of the chair. I don't know, but he died. And so I
so
found
sad.
that out while I was in class. And by the way, I admitted to this actually happened. I don't know if you've ever seen Spike Lee, when he goes like this to the New York Knicks audience there at Madison Square Garden. That was right around this time, by the way. And it was a really famous thing that Reggie Miller, he was talking about choking. They choked, basically. He scored 9 points in like 30 seconds or whatever, 40 seconds. And they ended up winning that game. And so I started going like this. Now again, that's pretty fucked up. I'm not going to lie.
That is pretty
It's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. Like, that's another thing. Like, I'm not sugarcoating anything. Like, that's a pretty fucked up thing to do to a kid in like the 5th grade, 6th grade, whatever it was. But I immediately started doing the Reggie Miller fucking Spike Lee thing, and it just like he came back into the class crying. And so when I did that, he started crying again. So apparently he contacted. This is not a joke, by the way. Roth Aslan is his name, by the way. I know his name. He contacted Josh Moon. I had never heard this story ever in my life. He contacted Josh Moon and said he thinks that I killed his dog. Even though I was in class when this happened. Literally, I was in school. I have a whole room full of witnesses. When this happened last year, I actually called up my best friend from that time that I was growing up with. We put him on the air. I was like, dude, what is he talking about? I've never heard this. He didn't like him either. But it's like, I have never heard this before. This dude is really saying that I killed his dog? How would I have done that? Literally, this is the only way it could have happened. I would have had to, by the way, he did live close to me. So technically it's possible, right? Like just from like, I could have done this, right? If like, I mean, you know what I mean? But this is what would have had to happen. I would have had to have snuck into his house in the morning before I went to school. I would have had to, and I was like 10 or 11 years old. I would have literally had to sneak into his house, James Bond style, or fucking like, you know, CIA type shit. Kill his dog before school, right? I had to do it before school, then know about it, go back to my house, clean up, literally like some fucking OJ shit. Like I would have had to clean up, then go to school, knowing all this happened, by the way, and I'm 10 years old. Can't tell anybody, I have to keep it secret. Then knowing all that's happening, wait for him to get the news, and then do the choking thing. Literally, this guy, I had never heard him say this before. He's been thinking this for 20 years because I'm not kidding. Because I did the Reggie Miller choke symbol, he's been thinking for 20 years that somehow I just fucking like materialized inside of his house and assassinated his dog, which I did not do. Like, I don't know what to say. I did not do that. I would be sooner to fucking kill that bitch before I would kill a dog. Literally, I would be much quicker to kill him at that point in time, or any point in time, than I would a dog. You understand? I would be sooner to wipe his whole house out before and leave the dog there as the witness before I would do anything to the dog. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
Davidson $3. Doggo Epstein didn't hang itself.
But literally, so he messaged Moon and told this story, and I was like, oh, I don't know what the fuck. And literally, so Josh started like dropping hints, and I'm like, what is he talking about? I literally had no clue. And then he said something about a dog, and I was like, well, the only thing I know about a dog is I remember Roth Aslan, that piece of shit that I didn't like. His dog fucking died, and he came into class, and I made fun of him. That's the only thing I can remember. And so I said it on air. And then Josh is like, well, he just admitted it. Oh. I was like, no, I didn't admit it. I didn't fucking do that. Literally. And so then that's where that whole story came from. But I did definitely.
They tied in the fact that like you also like cooked the dogs in the oven or whatever.
Well, that's another thing.
Explain this.
Well, I didn't cook dogs. I mean, just think about it. It's retarded. I said this. It's all on one show. It was the Tequila Sunrise episode.
Yeah, we watched it on my stream.
Yeah, it was.
I
oh,
think,
really?
Like, the dogs were born early.
That's
and you're
right.
supposed to like put them in an oven, not like close it or whatever.
It's not closed. Yes.
It's so they can
By the way,
insulate and be warm.
Not only
they just died naturally.
Yeah, I want to be clear. Not only was the oven not closed, the oven wasn't on either. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Richard Pictures sent $3 the day that kid's dog died was the worst day of his life.
That's
For
right.
Ralph, it was Tuesday.
That's right. That's literally what it was. And I understand. I love my dog too. I still remember Sadie. I talked about this the other day when she got killed. It was like one of the worst days of my life. My boyhood dog. She was 15 years old. Got hit by a car. So even though I hate that faggot, I understand that was a tough day. But you know what? Fuck him. Right? Like I just wanted. You know, it's just another day for me. But the whole oven thing. The oven wasn't on at all. It was to keep the heat. There was like a heating pad underneath the puppies, like a heating pad that you would wrap around your knee, basically, or your back or something like that. My mom actually had it because of her knee. She had torn her ACL when I was younger. And so, anyway, we had the heating pad. So the heating pad, it was like to try to create an incubator, basically, type effect. And so we had the heating pad underneath the puppies, and then they were like the oven was not closed. There was no gassing going on. It was cracked. It was to keep them warm, basically. And there's all kinds of articles online about this. Like it's not, which I didn't realize until they started trying to lie about it. Like I didn't realize that this was a thing, but my dad had already known about it. Like he already knew about that was a thing. But if you go and look this up, and Adelwolf talked about this the other day, apparently it's not uncommon at all. And when it happened, Gator was on the show actually defending me, etc. But we looked up the article and went through it. It's not abnormal at all. It's like nobody has a fucking incubator at their house. It's not fucking March of Dimes. You're trying to do, right? You're trying to do what you can to save these puppies. By God, those puppies mean a lot more to me than the lives of these motherfuckers talking about. Literally.
Metal Core Augustine sent $3. Ralph, no bake dog. It was me really. I make yummy chihuahua recipe so good. So good.
But if they gave me an option, thank you, by the way, Jade. If they gave me an option, those puppies could have lived, but everybody... Hold on.
Avon Chartsdale sent $3. Ralph used the force to strangle the
Yeah,
dog
it's
all
like,
the
what
way
the
from
fuck?
class. Darth Gunt
It's
Powers
insane.
confirmed.
But if they gave me the option, they said those dogs could live, but Josh Moon and his entire family has to die, I'm choosing the dogs. If they said the entire admin staff of Post has to board the train, but those dogs live, I'm picking those dogs. If they said every fucking co-host you ever fell out with on the Killstream and guest have to die, but those dogs live, I'm picking those dogs. Literally, the only thing I could see picking over them would have been like my immediate family, by the way. I love those puppies more than anything on this earth. Would be like my immediate family and Sadie herself, who was the mother of the puppies. Literally, I would wipe out the whole fucking planet other than that. I don't give a fuck. And so it's just ridiculous shit. They know it's a lie as well. But I went through the story. Yeah,
when
go
I was
ahead.
making the iceberg image, I just thought that like allegation. It was so bizarre, but it was like so funny to me that that's like an actual allegation. You have
Right.
to.
Well, they repeat it as if
You
it's...
have to give a response. Like,
Right,
you can
that's what I'm
give
saying.
the response right now.
It's like preposterous. What in the fuck? It doesn't even make any sense. I love Sunrise just as much these days. It's meant a lot to me too. He talked about him digging through his lawyer's trash. That's legal, Josh. I don't know if you know that or not. It's perfectly legal to go through somebody's trash.
If I shit myself, I would tell you motherfuckers. I'd probably make more money off shitting myself. I might pull down my fucking pants and shit all over the place today. Do they really know what the fuck it is I'm doing? I don't give a fuck about being hated. I don't give a fuck about you talking your shit. I get paid either way. Do you think I would give a fuck?